here like this.
All right. It says that we're
I'll,
live in StreamYard. We'll
I'll just read.
see.
I'll just read the book. Have you seen the special editions of this? They're at like Target and Walmart.
I've seen so many special editions because she
Yeah,
shares them all on her Instagram. I swear she gets
yeah.
like a special edition every month,
It
which
feels
I'm
like it.
happy for.
There's a new one. I think it's. I was gonna say it's the one directly from Orbit, but they've already done one with a slipcover. I don't know. There's another special edition out.
There's like
It's a new hardback, I
I
think.
feel like there's like dark grayish ones that are new somewhere. I don't know. I could be
That may be the
lying.
one I'm thinking of. That may be the one
Um,
I'm thinking of.
Hi, anybody who is watching. We're going to talk about One Dark Window by Rachel Gillig. I have Sarah with me. Um,
Hello.
and then Robin should be joining us shortly. And this is a reread for all three of us. So, and
Mhm.
we obviously really enjoyed the book. So I'm really looking forward to discussing it. As mentioned, we did do a live show back after the release of The Night and the Moth. So if you want to see the exact same group of people discussing the
We're
other
cool.
Rachel Gillig, we did it. Um,
I was trying to see
hey,
when that was.
hey, I'm so glad that you read it. Let me know what you
Hi.
thought,
Yes, give us
um,
thoughts.
that you liked it. At least I had some interesting, maybe, insight into it this time around where I was like,
Yeah.
I think I like it for this very specific reason. And I think if you take this reason out, I don't like the book nearly as much. So
Oh,
I'm
no,
very,
interesting.
but
Interesting.
obviously, like, it was my best of the year last year. So
Mhm.
clearly that element works really well. Yay, you loved it. I'm so
Yeah.
happy. Oh, Sarah, what did you think on reread? Any different from the first time around?
Um, not real yes, there was, like, little details I noticed, and we talked about this in our group chat. I always I missed on the first read, the cards are velvet, and I don't know why, but
Yeah.
that really threw me off this read. It's a sensory thing for me. All I could think
I
of is
hate
velvet.
the feel of it,
I
yeah.
I hate that so every time it talked about them holding a card or tossing the card around, and I'm like, "Did they rub it the wrong?"
Right, right,
But
right.
yeah,
There's, like,
yeah,
some, like, velvety that I can handle, but I think it's growing up in the '90s maybe where,
yes,
like,
maybe.
if you went, like, the wrong
It was so much.
direction or, like, just that
Yeah,
cheap or, like, hand-me-down velvet Christmas dresses, you know what I'm talking
yes.
about? They
I
had,
know
like,
it's
a
like, "Uh-huh."
very specific feel to them.
Yes.
I've never gotten over
And
it. It's true.
and now I'm thinking, "Oh, those cards feel like that?"
Right,
But,
right, because you have to assume it is, like, that stiff version
yeah,
for a
'cause
playing
it's
card.
gotta be tough. The cards don't rip. I mean, and
Yeah.
they showed
And
that.
obviously they're
But yeah,
magical, so it doesn't matter if they're made of
uh,
tissue paper or like this or if they are laminated, but
yeah, the cardboard velvet.
Robin's
I enjoyed
here.
it. Yay, Robin's here. But yeah, I enjoyed it. I can definitely tell the difference between this and Night and the Moth, like, how she's grown as a writer. Like,
Mhm.
you can definitely see improvements.
There you go.
Yeah.
What did you think on reread, and were you able to finish it, Robin?
I technically did not finish it, but I got very close. Got very
It's
close.
okay. It's just a reread.
That's I was like, you know what? I'm not even gonna stress about it. It's a reread.
Right. No, you don't need to. I would say the only reason to even finish the reread is that the ending is very good,
I
you
was like,
know?
I will still finish it just because I love the ending.
Yeah.
But yeah, I had like I think I have like 45 minutes left or something like that in the
Yeah.
audiobook. And I was like, it's fine. We're okay.
Absolutely. Absolutely, it is. Um, we might drag up some stuff that you would have not remembered as vividly finished on the
Yeah,
ending if you had finished it before the live, but
Mhm.
I don't think it's gonna matter all too much.
no. No, like it because I messaged you guys like in the as we were talking about this, where I was like, I forgot how like descriptive and everything this book is. And it's
Yeah.
just I'm not like a visualizer when I read. And like
Mhm.
I felt like I
Yeah.
could like see this whole book.
Yeah. I love that for you because I feel like my favorite part of the book is the like old book of alders, and the
Adders, I think.
and just like the sayings that they pass down, and then
Oh
like
my
the explanation of each magical card, like the poem at the front of the chapter and
yeah.
stuff. I feel like
Oh,
that
yeah.
stuff really, really helps like paint
Mhm.
your
Yeah.
atmosphere and your setting. Um, and to the point, this isn't what I was talking about at the beginning, but to the point where without it, I don't feel like it would feel as atmospheric.
And I know you're not like an audiobook person, but
Right.
the voices that the narrator does for like the nightmare are so
Yeah.
freaky. Like the little giggles that she does. I was just like,
Oh,
every single time
no.
I'm just like, oh,
No.
Oh,
it's
no.
so good.
I might
Maybe
have
like
to
at
try
the
the
gym.
audio.
Like they're so evil. It's amazing.
That sounds
Um, I was reading it and I was like halfway through, maybe a little bit more than halfway through, and I like realized that I think that this is a very like average romantasy story if you
Oh,
take
yeah.
out the monster and the
Oh yeah.
nightmare, because it's like all of his dialogue, it's the way that he affects her also being like a clear explanation of why she's like
Yeah.
not favoring
The way she
stuff
is.
out. You know, like, I think without him, and it's kind of the same with Night and the Moth, but not quite the same in that I love Bartholomew. He's by far my favorite part of the book, and he's
Mhm.
not in the couple.
No.
And it's the same thing here. Truly, my favorite part of the book is the monster and all of his little interjections,
Yep.
his explanations, like all sorts of stuff with him, honestly. Everything about him is my favorite part of the book. And
Yeah.
then under that comes the romance and the
Yeah.
world building, the magic system, and the plot.
The fact that
Yeah.
everything that he says is in a rhyme, like, freaks me
Mhm.
out,
Yes.
1, but it's so impressive too, like, to
I had
be
that
able to
same
pull that
thought.
off.
Yeah. She's very impressive coming up with, like, rhymes and songs all the time and all of
Yeah,
these books. Like, "Woman, what are you doing? Where did you get
Yeah.
these skills?"
each card has, like, so much behind it, like,
Mhm.
Mhm.
how he got it and what the, like, trade-off is and all of that stuff. It's all
Yeah.
Mhm.
really clever. I'm like, that is a lot
Yeah.
of
And
backstory.
obviously, we're not spoiling book 2, but that gets even expanded more in book 2, which is
Yeah,
really
Oh,
exciting
yeah.
yeah,
and just, like you said, impressive,
yeah,
truly.
Yes.
Especially because I feel like, card magic isn't necessarily something that is, like, an automatic buzzword for me. I feel like,
yeah,
it can be kinda whatever, can be good or bad, and I just think she does a really good job with it.
yeah,
Yeah, I think she did.
And even when you feel like or even when you think maybe it's basic and you've got all your explanations and stuff, she will then kind of build on it a little bit
yeah,
more.
Yeah.
yeah, agreed. Yeah, it's one
I
of
get
those
the
books where
feeling.
you're like, even beyond what that even beyond what she wrote on paper, like, she knows, like, everything that has happened in that world.
Mhm. I was gonna say, it feels like there's always the 2 camps of writers. You got the plotters and the pantsers, people who
Yeah,
make it up as they go, and the people who plan every little detail. She
yeah,
does the details. You
yeah,
can tell she does the details.
Mhm. Yeah, and I this is one of those books where I think I can see the criticisms a little more easily on reread, um,
Mhm.
but that doesn't really matter to me, but it's one of those books where I really feel like the people that are like, "This wasn't good and this needed to be better," and stuff, I'm like, "But you don't understand that this just wasn't the book for you."
yeah,
Literally, like, she shouldn't have changed that because that would make the people who love the book not like it as much. Like, what you want is the same type of idea written
for a different
completely
yeah,
differently, and
Yeah.
that's not what the people who love this book want.
yeah,
It's a very
agreed.
specific, like, audience for this vibe
Yeah,
and story, I think.
yeah,
And that's
it
okay.
is, and, like, the people I feel like that say, like, expand the world building or slow down the romance or what have you, I'm like, okay, but that is for a different audience. Truly, that is a completely different reader that wants that.
Mhm. And it
I
is
think
one of those books that, like, it doesn't land safely into one category, and I think that's sometimes what gets people is they're like, "Oh, it was too much romance," or something, "It wasn't enough romance," because it doesn't land perfectly into a category.
yeah,
So,
that's what I was gonna say is it's, like, squarely, I think, in the middle
yeah,
of fantasy and romance, and people want it hard one way or hard the other. This was one of the
exactly.
first books I read that I was like, "Oh, this is what romantasy can be?" And
Yeah,
so, like, yeah, if she went too much more into world building, it would have been a fantasy. If she had
fantasy.
gone too
Mhm.
much more into romance, it would have been a romance.
Yeah.
Right.
And so I
And
think it is hard to if you are one of those other readers, you're going to be disappointed because you're like,
Yes.
"Well, it wasn't enough
Mhm.
of this thing for me."
You gotta be able to meet in the middle.
You have to be squarely
Yeah.
in both.
Yeah. It's perfect for who it's perfect for, it really
Yeah,
is.
Right.
'Cause I know my husband is completely the opposite of me. He wants every leaf on every tree on everything, and also he sees all of it in his mind, though. Like, you
yeah,
say what it is, and he sees it, and he watches the movie, and that is n I am stuck in the leaves, like, "What?
yeah,
Why are we here
yeah.
still?" So,
And also with her writing too, because it's not necessarily like purple prose and anything like that, but
Mhm.
it's also not like straightforward writing. So she like really is in the middle of a bunch of different camps. And I think for some
She toes the
people,
line.
yeah,
Yeah. She toes the line very well. I think she's just very good at what she does. I
yeah,
This was her debut, right?
yeah,
Yeah,
mhm.
yeah,
it's
for a
so
debut,
impressive for a debut. Oh my
yeah,
god. I said this when I reviewed it way back when it came out, but, like, this is incredibly impressive for a debut. You can tell she
yeah,
worked and worked and worked on her like, just her craft in general, not just this book, 'cause Two Twisted Crowns is really good, and so is Night and the Moth, like, she worked on the craft itself. Yes, she
yeah,
chooses her words very carefully and well, yeah.
exactly. Yeah. She has like a lot of description and stuff in there, but it's all intentional. It's not
Mhm.
description for so that you know about every single leaf or whatever. It's
Yeah.
all like little important tidbits. Like even when she was describing like the first time that she goes to what's his face's family manor thing, and she's like talking about
Raven's the U Castle?
Raven. Yeah, you, that's it.
Yeah,
And, like,
the
she
U Castle
mentions, like,
place.
some things, and I'm like, "Oh, that's where, the window is," and, like, and so I'm like, you have, like, all these important little bits that she's, like, pointing out.
Mhm.
Yeah. I also do really like that she tells you all these things. It's not like, "Oh, this is so obvious this is
Yeah,
coming." It's like, she
Yeah.
told you. She flat out told you in, like, chapter 3, and she expected you to pick that up. Like, she
yeah,
expects you to understand before Elspeth does that the monster, the nightmare is the Shepherd
yeah,
King, is, you
Yes.
know, was
The
a
clues
you.
are there.
yeah,
Right,
Yeah.
all that
and
stuff.
it's not one of those like you said, her intention is for the reader to know. It's not like,
Mhm.
"Oh, here's a little hint." It's like, "No, you are
Not
supposed
like
to know."
it's not like, "Oh, I had a thought and then it just slipped away and I got distracted
Yeah.
by his forearms," you know? It's not one
And
of
sometimes
those.
it's annoying when they try to drop little hints, and it's like, "This is so obvious, and I can't tell if you are expecting me." Like, it's very apparent, like, you
Right,
know
Mhm.
are you
right
expecting
away.
me to be
Yeah,
like, "Oh, that's what she meant."
yeah.
Yeah.
We're all in on it. We're just waiting for
Right,
the character to figure it out.
Yeah.
right, we got
And it's
and
not frustrating like that can be
yeah,
No.
sometimes. She does it
exactly,
well
Yeah.
'cause you spend the whole time
exactly.
going, "Oh, he's no, but is he?
I
Oh,
think
he
it's
is."
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I think it's 'cause she knows other things and is picking up on other things,
Yeah.
so it's not like she's completely oblivious. It's just that
Mhm.
she
Yes.
hasn't put together who the voice is.
Yeah.
Yes.
I also think it's, framed really interestingly in that her mind is not completely her own, her thoughts are kind of
Mhm.
becoming more muddled the further into the plot you go, so the more
We're
information
sleepwalking.
she should have and the more dots she's connecting, the harder it is for her to connect dots, and then you also have like the self-imposed wall of this, you know, getting him as an 11-year-old and being like, this is scary. I don't want to try and figure this out. I can't comprehend the fact that the Shepherd King is in my mind right now. Like, I have his soul in me. Let's not touch that. And then just never addressing it.
Yeah.
I also forgot that, like, as he, like, can take control, that he gets more control. Like, I forgot about that, where it's like he can kind of control more as she lets him in.
Yeah.
I was like,
Yes.
She starts sleepwalking when she gets to the U estate
Yeah.
and digging in the dirt and stuff.
And, like, gets his memories and stuff.
Yeah,
Like,
she
that's
starts to
right,
see
that's
things.
why. Yeah, because he
And
helped her.
I completely missed on the first couple reads the hints we get at the second book with the fire and the children at the end of this one.
Yeah.
I was reading it this time around, and I went, "Oh my god, I thought that was all in the second book," but no, it's hinted at in here too. And, oh.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff in this one that doesn't stand out as not being clear or not being part of the first story, but then once you do get to the second story, you're like, "Wait a second, we are building on what we had said here and there and everywhere."
The dots connect very well.
Even I forgot that because, like, I guess in my head, they blended so much together because I read them back to
Me
back.
too.
And so even when the sister loses her, like, talisman in the forest, I was like, I could have sworn that was book 2.
That's hilarious. I couldn't remember what happened there. I just remembered, like, the robbery going bad. I was like, "Oh, I remember, like, there's something here I don't like," but I didn't remember the details of what happened till I was reading it.
In your defense, they're out in the woods a lot in book 2.
That's exactly it. Is I was like, I thought they were in the woods, and then I was like, they are still in the woods in the second one. I just forgot that they were ever in the first.
And I know for me, one of the, like, world building aspects that I really love is the trees, like, the trees in their name, the trees, the actual physical trees, the, like, stuff with the spirit and the rhyme, you know, referring to the trees and stuff. I just find that, like, really cool, honestly. It just appeals to me. I don't know, I've got about it.
I remembered that the trees was, like, a big deal, but I did forget all of the family names.
Yeah. Me too.
There's a lot of them.
Yeah. I was just like, I don't even think I know this many trees. Like, we're just been Googling, like, trees?
Like, what was what was the thought process there? She's right, and she's like, I need something that connects all these people. What can I use? Trees? Like, it takes a special kind of brain, man.
It makes you wonder what came first, you know? Was she like, I have, like, this cool idea about trees, or was she, like, just working on building out a kingdom and was like, what if I took some nature element?
So the original, like, pitch for it went back when I got the e-arc, and I don't know if I can find any of it anymore. It was like a retelling of the Highwaymen almost, or like an allusion to the Highwaymen, the old story. So maybe a little of both. I don't know.
I don't know. I don't even know. I would have to hear the original story to tell you if I'd heard it before. I'm not sure.
I can't even tell you who wrote it. It's some old classic. Let me see who.
I was like, I feel like I recognize the name.
Right, exactly. But it's not like, in my mind, it's a retelling where it's like, okay, I can give you the 3 bullet points that are probably going to be present.
And I feel like some of those original pitches for books they're always so random.
They really are, and then they drop them so quickly.
They'll pitch like, something. This isn't working. Forget it.
Nobody's picking it up for this reason. Let's pick something else, or it's not being received well. Let's change it. Recent books have been doing that.
Yeah, which is I think why now they're just like Sarah J. Maas and red, white, and royal blue. Like every single book.
Everything. Yeah.
Yeah, you really can't take that seriously.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean anything. It means it's a gay fantasy romance.
Yeah.
That's what that means.
If it's high fantasy, it's Game of Thrones. If it's romantasy, it's Sarah J. Maas, and if it's gay, it's red, white, and royal blue. Like,
And
that's
if
it.
it's young adult, it's still
Okay.
Harry Potter in
Yeah.
2025.
Yes.
It's
If
like,
it's
okay,
science
thanks for
fiction, it's Red
nothing.
Rising.
Red Rising, yeah.
Yeah, everything is
They're
Red
all the
Rising.
same. It's all the same.
So I have a couple of things for sure, but one of the things that really stuck out to me right from the beginning, and I feel like this is so common, I just like the twist that she does on it, is the discrepancy between the powerful, the nobility, the royalty, deciding what infected are hanging around and who is being like very harshly punished for trying to protect their infected loved one. And I liked that was I liked that all of our power players were from the ruling class. I feel like that's not something we see very often. Even if you do have somebody in the ruling class, they're always falling in love with someone in the oppressed class. And then the oppressed class member is like, yeah, I know you're one of the good ones, but actually you guys kill us all the time. Like it's just
Yeah.
always like that. So I really like that they're all from the ruling class and are like, yeah, this is terrible. This affects us directly. Yes, but also like we just don't agree with anything that's happening. And it's not like having to be, again, it's not like the main character or the love interest is having to show them that actually their kingdom is quite corrupt and if only you knew.
But I not like all the other ones. I am good.
Right,
That's
exactly.
always
Did
it.
not like,
I am the lone good royalty.
yeah,
Actually
did
really
not like other boys.
Yeah, exactly.
Mhm.
I am not like other girls.
And it's like always so warped and twisted. I feel like almost all the time in the fact that they're attracted to this person. So
Mhm.
they suddenly kind of see them as human, even though
Yeah.
they're from a subset of people that they don't really view as human. And the story would not be unfolding if they did not find them attractive.
Yeah.
Like,
Mhm.
they would have died in chapter 1. That's obvious. They would have run them through. Like, no doubts, no thoughts.
Yeah.
It's very convenient to the plot.
Yeah.
Right. Thank
But
God
I
she had
think
those beautiful eyes that really just stopped them in their tracks.
yeah. I do also, like you said, how they are very aware of the fact that they would not be alive if they weren't part
Mhm.
of, this class.
Yeah.
And I like that it's acknowledged, like, right away. They're like,
Right
"I
away.
in any other situation,
Yeah.
I'd be dead, but I'm useful right now, and therefore, I'm still."
And
Yeah,
or
I'm around.
just
Yeah.
my father is
Has enough
able to
power to
get
get
away
away.
with this.
Yeah.
So he
Yeah.
does.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um and I don't know, I feel like that theme is really well done
Mhm.
throughout the whole book.
Yeah.
And then one of the things that I really noticed with the nightmare, because like I said, that was like 50% of my enjoyment of the
Mhm.
book was the nightmare, was how he very clearly knows how much time she has left and how she's running out of time and all of this stuff.
Mhm.
And he like isn't trying to trick her or anything. And there's like a weird balance of just being heartless and, like, not really caring about a lot of things that she cares about, and also he's just, like, very kinda compassionate and empathetic towards her and, like, um, caring like you would be of a child, and he's like
Mhm.
it's just, like, a really interesting balance because he's, like, the creepy monster in her mind. He's not the love interest, right, which is almost where we almost always go with this type
Yeah.
of thing. Um, and he It's definitely gonna be taking her over. There's nothing that can stop that, but he also is just, like, really caring and compassionate to her about it.
Yeah.
Um, and I felt like that was, like, really well done because you don't hate him,
No.
even
No.
And
with
I feel like
in the
that's
book.
expanded on in the second book where
Mhm,
as you
Yeah.
learn about his past and history and,
History.
like, why he kind of
mhm.
grows attached to her. But you said this earlier, like, she touched that card when she was, like, 11. And
11,
Mhm.
so
yeah.
he spent a lot of time in her head and she
Mhm.
was a child, and so I think part of it is he was aware of,
Yeah.
her innocence at that point.
Mhm.
And there was one thing he said that I caught this time. I don't remember if I saw it last time. He said, "When I came to her, whatever, she was already good and clever, but I made her wary."
Yeah.
And because, the whole saying is
Yeah,
be clever, be
Be
good, be
good.
wary, whatever it
yeah,
is. And I was like, I don't know, I just like that. I was like, "Okay."
yeah, yeah,
He becomes like a father figure because the father figures she would have are like her uncle is a piece of
yeah.
shit,
He's
and then
Oh,
her
terrible.
yeah.
dad is pretty much not there.
Yeah,
I don't
because
know, Robin, if you Robin, have you been in, like, the house? You're not in the house for, like, the final scene yet, right?
no, no.
Okay, well, basically, without going into the details for you, the fact that her uncle, like, didn't have to be magically persuaded to
Oh, yeah.
betray
Oh,
her, it's
Lord.
just greed and not caring, and those
Oh,
2
yeah.
Yeah.
things combined were plenty for him. Ugh,
I did
you suck,
forget
dude.
I did forget that her cousin is, like, n not f almost, like, fighting the card from, like, the get-go.
Yes.
Like, I forgot
Yeah,
that
she
was so
didn't even see it.
fast, where it's,
Yeah.
like,
So,
right away because it's, like, the first time that
second
she sees her, yeah, after, like, the wedding or whatever, the
yeah,
announcement, where she's acting weird, where and I
yeah.
was like I
You
forgot it was, like, right away that she was
On
like,
a
"Eh."
reread, yeah, on a reread, you can see her fighting it, like, I
Yeah,
remembered that scene because I had the same realization. I was like, "Oh, she's fighting it." On the, she says something like, "You're
yeah,
using the maiden card," and she said, "Can't you turn it off?" or something, and she goes, "No, I can't." And it describes a look flitting across Ion's face, and, like, I was
Ione.
like, "Oh, Ione?" Is that how they
Yeah,
say it?
that's how they say it in the
Okay.
book or in the
Yeah,
audiobook.
and then there's other times she protects her, she's like, "Oh, she fell off a horse when her wrist was hurt," and I was like, "Oh," 'cause the first time I read it, I was like, "I can't stand Ione. She makes
Yeah,
me angry. I'm ready
yeah.
to throw hands with this woman." But
Well, 'cause
yeah, on the next one.
yeah, 'cause, I mean, they're so close, and then it feels like betrayal, but, like, yeah, the
Yes, it
first
does.
time that they see her and she, like, makes a comment about the prince, and I was
Uh-huh.
like, "Oh, dang, that's right." It was from the get-go that she was
Yeah,
like, "I made a mistake. I should not have touched this
yep.
card," and,
She immediately is, like, fighting it. Oh, man. Yep.
Well,
I'm
and I
very
think
excited.
I do think it depends on, like, your perspective, how much you are able to tell, like, whether you really dislike her and you're like, "Wow,
Mhm.
like, she's being so bitchy, like, what is going on?" Because obviously they have that fight, and then she goes but I especially, on this reread, knowing what happens, all of that stuff, but even the first time, I remember just because she is still fighting her or helping her cousin, right? And
Yeah,
we know in this book, it specifically does mention, like, you get the hints that the maiden card, like, really cuts you off from your feelings and
yeah,
stuff. And so you get the idea that she is still the same person and struggling with it, but it's kind of like the theme of all of the characters is really, like, the love that they have for each other, like, the love that they have for their loved ones is what's driving this entire,
yeah,
betrayal and plot,
Mhm.
and, um, it's what's driving each of them individually and then them as a group as well,
yeah,
and I remember because I the first time that I read it, I was like the stuff with the maiden card was specifically what I, like, didn't really like about the book because I was like, just classic. We've got, the mean girl and,
Mhm.
like, what are we doing with this? But, especially on reread, I'm like, I don't know. I
yeah.
really like Ione, is that how you said it?
Ione, yeah,
Yeah.
I really like her, and, I really like her relationship with her cousin because it's like
yeah,
even with the fight, even with the magic, she still
yeah.
is loyal
Mhm.
and is still, like, an
Yeah.
ally as much as she can be.
Yeah, and I think that's what I liked about that first scene with her is I was like, you get this glimpse that, like, she hasn't turned on her cousin. She just
No.
literally lacks now the emotion to show things. And so she's doing it in these almost like cruel ways because it's
Mhm.
the only thing that she has.
Mhm.
I
And
will say,
also, well, she's
nope.
also with the prince that is a
Yeah.
brute.
Yeah.
So, you know, she's a little bit at his mercy, not
Yeah.
completely, but you definitely get that.
I think the maiden card, for me, I always kind of saw it as an analogy almost for depression, especially for people trapped in like abusive relationships, because it feels like sometimes some people, and it's happened to me before in some of my bad periods, you kind of shut down and like
Yeah.
you just become cold. And that's what it feels like. And then we really see her evolve in the second book. And I think that's why I like the second book a little bit more than the first book, because you see her having to fight that and come out of it, because it's almost like a shell of protection at some point. I don't know.
Mhm.
I thought the maiden card was clever. I think she did something
Yeah.
interesting with that card. But yeah, the first time I read it, I did not pick up on Ione's fighting it so hard. Like I got the feeling that she wasn't happy about what was happening. And
Mhm.
when it announced that she was the main character of the second one, I was like, why?
Yeah.
Right.
But yeah, it clicked very quickly after that. I was like, ah, okay, okay, I get it.
I think there's something to be said for the fact of how many kind of little layers she has in this, but then how easily consumable the books are. I feel like you're kind of
Mhm.
flying through it at whatever your top speed is,
Yeah.
and
It's a
so
very
it's
tight
easy to not pick up some things because it's so readable that you're
yeah.
just
Yeah. It's one of those
inhaling.
books
It
that you can read multiple times and pick up new things because there are
Mhm.
mhm.
a lot of little things in there.
She
Mhm.
drops things very
Yeah.
sneakily.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think she does a really good job of making all of the relationships feel important, not
Yes.
just like the love like relationships where it's
Mhm.
like her relationship with her cousin, her family, her aunt, like the cousins and like all of the relationships are equally important. And
Mhm.
like the love that they have for like him and his brother or her and her cousin or whatever
Yeah.
are, like you said, what's driving them. And it's not
Mhm.
necessarily romantic love.
Right.
There's a lot of platonic, like,
Yeah.
relationships on
Yeah.
display that are really well done.
Yeah, I think once again, just kind like with The Night and the Moth, I come out of the book where it's like the romance was great, but the romance
Yeah.
isn't really the
Misunderstood.
book.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love a
And
book like that. It's good.
yeah, but it also doesn't feel like you can recommend it as anything other than a romance. Like, the romance is still
Yeah.
so central that it's like, well, if you don't like romance, you're not gonna like it.
Exactly.
But, just as you're reading it, there's like, I don't know, it's kind of just one little part of what we're doing over here.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you don't like any romance in your fantasy, you're not gonna like it. It's too prevalent. But yeah, it's if that's what you need to drive your book, I think it's not gonna quite work because yeah, it doesn't drive the book. It's like the other stuff is what's moving the story along. The romance
Mhm.
is there for the ride.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I liked that the romance, you know, the fake courting and stuff was kind of how she was able to suddenly be in this castle
Yeah.
24/7 that she's never been in before and all of that, but
Yeah, you still get your, like, classic romance trope of, fake dating. It's just
mhm,
not what
only one horse running into each other, you know,
Yeah.
in a dangerous meet cute, all that stuff.
yeah.
Um, One thing too is she's, like, really distrustful of Raven and his secrets, and she's
Mhm.
like, "I've known you for a day, and we're in a rebellion together. How dare you not tell me you're infected?" And
Yes.
I like that she acknowledges, like, within a day, she's like, "I know, like, why this is triggering me. I know it's not reasonable. I know it's literally all my own,
Yeah,
you know, hiding things."
yeah,
But it still cracks me up. She's like,
yeah.
"How am
Yeah,
I
it was, like,
supposed to trust
immediate.
you?"
Like, as soon as she says it, she's like, "I know, I'm keeping my own stuff, but I'm still mad that he's doing it.
Right, right, right.
Yeah.
This isn't fair, but I don't care."
Right. Not even a little bit.
I know I'm doing it too, but you.
Right. No, it's funny. And also with Raven, I really liked that his whole reason why he didn't want to court her and he didn't want to do all this had nothing to do with like not being sure about her or not being sure about his feelings. It all had to do with the fact that he was like, I'm a traitor. My time is coming. And when my time comes, what's going to happen to my loved ones?
Yeah.
Not really sure
Yeah.
the best
I don't know if
situation
I wanna
in our
put
relationship right now. But
Yeah.
but it was literally just he's like, "Look, I know I'm not gonna get away with it forever. Like, there's no way." So
And they all know, like, they're all infected, so they know that at some point they're gonna have to pay the price for that. And
mhm,
so I think all of them are
Mhm.
kind of like, "We're living on a limited
mhm.
timeline here."
Yeah, 'cause
Yeah,
degeneration is coming for
Yeah.
you all.
we have borrowed time.
Yeah.
I also really like that you have, like, this super evil prince, you know, that's, like, sadistic and abusive and all of that, and you have, like, this king that's going around killing everybody with magic, and they're, like, not really the point of the story at all. Like, that's
They're
not
not
even
the real
really who
bad
we're
guy.
trying to
No.
defeat in the long run. They're barely a thought, really, other and the prince more so, and that's just, like, this jerk, like
Yeah. I feel
Yeah,
like
he's
it's
an
one of those
annoyance.
rare cases because I feel like usually in a fantasy, like, they end up focusing on the wrong character for a little while before they get
Yeah.
whereas this is the one where they're like, "Just let them be idiots, like, they will fall when
Right,
we take out the real problem."
right,
Yeah.
right.
We
And
don't
also,
Let that
like
fire burn.
Yeah,
yeah, well, and you just never have an evil king that's not the point of the story. That's
yeah,
not the big bad,
Right.
and it's like, well,
yeah.
it's
Usually it's like
almost like, um it's almost like our government where it's like I mean, we all agree they suck, yes, but also I'm dealing with football right now, and that is really
Yeah.
that's my focus on where
right?
but you know
Instead of
what I mean?
focusing
It's
on
like
the
they have a bad government, but that's not like the day-to-day thing that they're trying to do, and that's not their mission.
Yeah,
It's ultimately kind of their goal,
Yeah.
but I
It's
just felt like
connected,
that
but
was
not quite.
realistic.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's almost like I said, in other fantasies where it's like book 1, they take out this one bad guy, and then it's like, "Just kidding, it's actually this guy way over here." And it's like, in this
Mhm.
Mhm,
series, they just skipped that first book. They're like, "We're just not even gonna do that. We're just gonna
mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you,
we're
like, take
wasting our time."
out a couple, like, henchmen in this book 1, and
Yeah,
that's, like, satisfying, like, you did not like them,
yeah,
but
Yeah.
ultimately, you didn't really accomplish anything. You had, like, different, uh, ending climax, I guess.
yeah,
I will say the ending of this book, I still vividly remember the first time I read the ending, and it was one of those moments where you sit up and you go, "What just happened?"
yeah.
And even
I
I
rereading
was
it for, like, the
so
3rd time.
glad I remember on the
Yeah.
first because I read book 1 just as book 2 was coming out. I think book 2 was coming out in, like, 3 days, and I was like, I would have
Yeah.
absolutely died if I had to wait a year.
Yeah.
Like, would
I
not
That
have
was
survived.
intense.
I closed book 1 and opened book 2. I
Yeah.
was like, "Alright, here we go."
I literally was
I
like, "Okay,
I
I
waited.
just have to wait for my book to drop." Like, that was pretty much it. I was like, "Thank God," because it gave me enough time to
Mhm.
breathe for a minute, and then,
Yeah.
I was like, "Man, I could not have done it." It's like, that was
And
brutal.
I didn't have to wait the whole year, but I waited a few months, and I was as soon as that book I was like, "Oh."
yeah.
Yeah. I was like, "Thank
And
God."
Well,
then you
and
just gotta
also with the way that book 1 ends, then you're introducing more of POVs in book 2, which
Yeah.
works because 'cause
Mhm.
you're kinda taking away some POVs from book 1 and still continuing, which I liked. I liked that we didn't completely switch who we're following, but
Yeah.
we did add to it. And
Mhm.
then, um oh, I lost I
That's
was
okay.
reading On My Way Home from a No King's Protest, so true. I, I didn't leave the house today, but I know the last time there was a No Kings protest, there was like one right by me that I saw, and I was like shocked. Because when I tell you like the amount of Trump signs I drive by on a daily basis, right? Even now, like it's not an election year. But
there was
I was
one
like, wow,
downtown for
we're
me,
really out here. Look at us.
Yeah. I had the same reaction not too long ago. I saw one downtown and I was like, "Oh, what the heck?"
Here?
This
Really?
is such a like
We might actually
this
have
is such
a
a
union,
conservative
people.
area.
This might be a thing. Yes.
Yeah, good call.
Good, you're gonna need it.
Yeah.
That's exactly why I wanted the live shows to just be a couple weeks apart, because I figured anyone who's
Mhm.
like desperate, they can pick it up tonight,
Yeah,
and
hop right in.
it won't be.
Yeah.
It will still be fresh for the live when
Yeah.
if they want to show up.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
POVs. We don't drop them completely.
Yeah,
I
they
do
do.
that because sometimes when we
Yeah.
switch POVs like that, it's like, but I just got attached to those other characters. We just had them. And
Yeah.
especially when there's only 2 books, it's like
Well,
I don't want to just abandon characters where she just dialed it
Right.
back. It wasn't like we just like completely like
Yes.
your story's over.
Right. And that is the thing where it's like you do open with other people and you're like, why am I with you?
Yeah.
This is
I think
not
you
the
have a message.
cliffhanger that I'm trying to figure out. I've got things to do.
Yeah.
But especially with the way this book ends, like you have such a ironclad reason of why we're
Mhm.
not just keeping all the same things.
Yeah.
And you're still like seeing that dilemma, even though you're not getting, the same things with the romance and stuff that you kind of thought you'd be getting, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But she did a good job building up to the returning POVs because I remember reading the second book and Elspeth appeared and I was like, "Oh no." So like it's very good. It's very good. This
Yeah.
is a good duology.
Well, I'm not gonna say the line because I don't want to spoil it for Robin again. Just
I mean, I've read it.
But just like what Raven like thinks and stuff when he realizes that it's not Elspeth anymore and stuff, just like the way that whole thing is described and everything. I was like, oh, this is profound. This is deep stuff.
Yeah.
And again, like you get the king at the very end too, which I forgot about that. But you get the king at the very end.
Mhm.
It's like, you don't even know this guy. Like, this isn't the big bad. This isn't what we're
Right.
like. It's not stressful that he's on page. It's like, what are you gonna do, dude? Like, the worst has already happened to us.
Yeah.
We don't even care
You're so
about you.
devastated at that point. Yeah.
And this is like said earlier in the book, but then definitely comes into play at the end of the book. But it's they came for the girl and got the monster instead.
Oh,
I
yeah.
love
Mhm.
that.
I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's also the line about the girl and the king, the girl and the mad man, they become one or something.
The girl and
That
the king and
line
the monster they became.
Yeah.
yeah,
I have a
I
sticker
love
of that.
that one
Yeah.
was really good. And it reminded me because there's a lot of stuff like that in The Knight and the Moth that we get, like, hints, and having read this, I can think back to The Knight and the Moth and be like, I see where she did something similar in some of that writing too, like, there was stuff dropped that we didn't get completely explained. I'm very excited to see what happens in the second book too.
Yeah. And again, like that is so difficult to do. Even like the
Mhm.
monster or the Night of the Month, the gargoyle, it's like having that type of character is not original, it's not special, you have the comedic relief and, all that stuff. That's not special. But doing it, pulling it off is a real skill. You can have an idea for it and you can't pull it off. And I'm annoyed and I'm DNFing,
Yeah.
and obviously everyone's humor is a little bit different and everything, but, like, it's really, really difficult to pull off a funny, clever side character that's your
Mhm.
comedic relief that is, driving things forward in any way that's not incredibly annoying, A lot of times it just is very annoying. It's not
Yeah.
actually any
Yeah,
good. You're
a
ruining
lot
the
of people
book
don't like
instead of
humor. Yeah.
elevating it. But
Yeah.
she just really, really pulls that off, at least, like, for me and, what I like with it,
Mhm.
um, and that is, a skill that she deserves credit for.
Yeah,
Yes.
For sure.
absolutely.
Um, Also, it's kind of funny, but it's like you feel like the highwaymen would be a big plot point or even are a big plot point, but with, like, everything going on, it's like
Yeah,
like, we haven't even mentioned it or thought about it.
I
yeah,
I had completely forgotten why they were on the road posing as highwaymen till they talked about Raven's mother's prophecy, and I was
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
me too.
"Oh, yeah, okay.
I
Okay, that makes more sense," because that was one of the
Yeah,
things I was always like, "Why did we drop that?"
I had
That's
attributed it just to looking for the cards. I
Same, I
definitely
forgot the prophecy thing.
Mhm.
I was
Yeah,
just like, they were just searching for cards, and
right.
then they brought it up, I
Happens
Yeah.
was like,
once.
"That's right, I forgot."
Exactly.
There's a reason.
Yeah, because I remembered as soon as, like, they showed up, I was like, "Oh, that's right, they're, like, looking for the missing cards or whatever." But I did not remember
Mhm.
that it was 'cause his mom.
Yeah, yeah.
They had that
I
prophecy, yeah.
I do think it's hilarious that after they hook up and stuff, he comes down to the breakfast and he's, like, so happy, and Elm was like, am I the only one finding this so unnerving and, like, creepy? Like, what is happening? What is wrong with him? And why am I here? And then
He's
there's
so
also,
smug.
like, when they're in the market or after the market, and Raven's like, "I only told the people
Mhm.
who needed to know," and Raven or and Elm's like, "So the only people you left out were just me and the magically disturbed woman?" Elspeth and the Nightmare both are like, "Disturbed?"
Yeah.
It's just so good.
I did also think it was, like, I don't know if it just didn't dawn on me the first time that essentially Raven and Elspeth have, like, opposite powers, that she, like,
Mhm.
absorbs them and he, like,
Yeah,
can't
that's
use
true.
them, and I was like, "Oh,
Yeah.
I
interesting."
also really like that her, like, best friend is her cousin, and his best friend is his cousin, like, you've got a
Yeah,
lot, and then also, the Nightmare says about how the royal family are they Yarrows? Is that their last
Mhm.
name?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah,
And
I think so.
the U's, don't intertwine easily and, like, all of
Mhm.
that stuff.
Yeah, there's a lot of, like, tree things
There's a
that
lot.
are, like
Yeah.
I was like, I feel like if I knew more about the trees, there might be, more, like,
You'd be like,
lore.
"Oh, that's clever."
Exactly, I feel like there might
Yeah.
be more there. But I'm like, I don't know anything about trees.
Uh, no. I do feel like too that's, like, another kind of testament to it being a good book is that it's, like, if you are into the tree part of the magic building, world building, that's really cool, or
Mhm.
there's the cards, or there's the mist, or there's the
Yeah.
monster, or there's the political plot, or there's the romance, or
I also
Yeah.
love when they almost, like, bury little stuff like that in there where it's like, yeah, if you have insight into this random thing, you're gonna be like, "Oh, that's really clever," but it's not actually important, you don't
Yeah.
need to know that,
Right,
it's just, like, a
right.
little thing that's in there. So it's like,
Mhm.
"Oh, I'm super into trees," and it's like, "Oh, ha ha, that is a
Yeah.
whatever type of
Yeah,
tree that only
exactly.
grows in a swamp,"
Yeah.
and they like, you know what I mean? Where it's
Right.
like, you would have
Yes.
this random little bit
Yeah.
of information that's, like, just clever.
Yeah, for
There's
sure.
there's something in the second book, I don't remember if she says it in the book or if it's something I picked up, something about the names of the tree being changed,
Yeah,
or it's like the Latin reverse. Yeah, she does
yeah.
that with it, and I was like,
Yeah,
"Oh,
I
how
remember
clever.
something
You
about the
know a
beer
lot about
tree.
trees."
Yeah, there's something
Yeah.
about, like, it being bendable or that changing or something, I don't remember, but yeah,
Yeah.
and I was
Something
like
something to do with Raven's family.
yeah, and I remember thinking that time too where I was like, "I bet there was more hidden information if I look up these trees."
Yeah. Look up
Yeah.
trees' names.
I need to Wikipedia spindles.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. I need to ask her what it was because I know my sister had like searched something up and it was a
Yeah,
clever tree thing, and she was like, so good.
yeah.
Uh,
Like, it's annoying when it's, like, important because it's like, then I just don't know and I miss it, but when it's just, like, silly little stuff like that where it's like, "Oh, I
Yeah.
see what you're doing," that's fun because then it's just a little Easter egg for
Better.
you.
It is fun. Yeah, I like that.
yeah. I can't really remember exactly what happens with Emery in the next book, and I know we like
Yeah.
didn't resolve it in this one. I'm like, oh, and also just like the couple interactions we had with him were really good.
He also has a creepy voice in the audiobook. It's so good because, like, when he starts doing like, it's normal when he, like, isn't, like, speaking in weird
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
rhymes,
Prophesying.
but when he's speaking in the weird, creepy rhymes, the voice that she does for him is also horrifying.
Nice. Love that for you.
I might have to do the audiobook.
Yeah, she's really good.
I was looking a minute ago to see who the audiobook narrator was, but I didn't recognize the name, so
She makes the little
maybe I'll
clicking
do it.
noises too that he
Mm.
makes, like, the little it's not
Love that.
it's one of those where it's like you love it, but while it's happening, you're like, "Mm-mm, creepy."
Right. It is unsettling, actually.
Oh, that's exciting.
Yeah.
Uh,
I love that sort of thing.
Yeah.
That's good. Mhm. That's
that
good.
makes
I'll have to
sense.
yep, I guess I'm gonna do a read 4 soon.
Yeah. That's good. I like it.
And also you can, like, really understand how having that in your head all the time when you're trying to do something else and trying to have a conversation with someone else and all of that would be, like, very
Distracting.
disturbing
Yeah,
and
and I
difficult
feel like
to
with fantasy books, it's always helpful for me to at least hear their names because they're always weird names. Like
Mhm.
Yes.
like Ione, like, I would have never known how to say that if I didn't.
I mean, they just are what they are in my head,
Yeah,
and, uh, corrections don't help, really. We already locked in on what it was gonna be.
yeah. And half the time, I don't it's not even, like, their actual names. I just, like, say some other name that starts with that letter because
Yeah,
I'm just like, "Eh,
Yeah.
or
close
I
enough."
have no name at
Close enough.
all. That's truly how
Yeah.
I function through books. Or a lot of times I remember the character, like, I don't remember the names well, I never have. I'll remember but I'll, like, know, like, the first letter and,
The
like,
first
1 or 2
letters.
letters, so when you've got 8 people that start with A, I
Oh,
get lost in
I
the
get
sauce
so
Mhm.
mad.
very quickly. I
Yeah.
don't know who we're talking about. I
Mhm.
really need so
Yeah,
much context.
yeah. I hate that because I do the same thing, yeah, where if I can't pronounce their name right away, I just see the first letter,
Yeah.
and I'm like, "Why do we have 2 names that start with the letter I?" Like, I can't even
And
come up with
I
multiple
know, like, so much of it is, like, based on world building and, like, language and the similarities and all that
Mhm.
stuff, but, like, I'm me as a reader, I really need you to go for uniqueness more than, you know, con
Make sense with the yeah,
yeah, like, don't start world
Yeah.
building with names. Don't do that for me. I'm not following.
yeah, yeah.
Ugh.
It's terrible.
I
It's so
usually I usually don't remember the names, but they've all got colors in my head because everything's associated with a color for me.
Yeah,
So the names are complete. I'll be talking about something I've read, like in a wrap up, and I'm like, I don't remember the names. I could tell you how they look and feel, but I
yeah,
don't know the
you
names.
can watch, dozens of wrap-ups that I've done. There's very few names
yeah.
ever referenced or
I'm
mentioned.
always just like the female main character.
I'm like the
This
main
one named
character,
Yeah.
the love
Yeah.
interest,
Yep,
the other love interest,
yep.
like,
Exactly.
the cousin, like, you don't get any names from me. I'm like,
Even, like, favorite books, I'm just like, I could not tell you. Just that detail is gone.
There's, I don't know, a very small amount of books that I can tell you the couple's name, and then if we're going for more characters past that, it's an even smaller list. Like, it's real small.
Right? There's
Yeah.
like
almost
I
definitely read multiple times.
I have to remember the 4 teachers at my daughter's daycare. I'm sorry, those names take up all the brain space that I've got for like I have no more room for names.
And also, I feel like, at least, I'm sure some people disagree with me, and they're welcome to do whatever they want, but I just feel like when it comes to talking about a book, the least important thing is character names.
No.
Why do I care?
Yeah.
You're telling me about the book, why do I care that her name is Eloise?
Yeah.
I
They're
don't.
also not real, so it's not like I'm offending them in any way.
Like, this is not going to affect whether I want to read that book one way or the other. It does not matter.
Yeah.
And I just think it's so funny when people spend, like, in their edited video, they spent so much time trying to figure out what the name was. I'm like, okay, well, did it matter?
Never mattered. Yeah. A character name is, like you said, it's never going to
I
be a
stopped
make or
trying.
break it deal on why I pick up a book.
Yeah.
Half the time I'm not reading the name anyways. Like you said, I see the first letter and we're good.
Right. It's so funny to me, and I guess I'd be curious in the science behind it of how I'm in a book, I know everything, I walk away from the book, I know nothing. I open the book back up, right back in it. I know exactly who we're talking about. You call my name, ask me who I was just reading about, couldn't tell you. Don't know what's happening on that page.
Yeah.
Or what their names were or whatever. But, like, open the book back up. Yes, okay, all right.
Yeah.
The memory has been jogged. We're moving.
Yeah. Back in it.
Cast names. No. You remember the face and some identifying characteristic. Maybe you remember the face.
Yeah, it's the worst.
I don't try. I've never tried a day in my life, to be honest. To remember a character name.
Face in the order. Yeah, there you go.
Is that not more important? I think so.
Yeah. When I worked in a coffee shop, that was it. Face the, oh, you're the tall coffee guy. Yep, got you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Do you guys have anything else about this book? I think I got most of what I wanted to, or everything that I wanted.
You covered it really well.
Yeah.
I wrote down some bullet points because I was like,
forget.
A barista, even better.
That's what I was a barista for a few years.
500 kids. No, no.
At least at the baby's school, their names and photos are on the doors.
Yeah.
So it's like every day I see it, which is really nice.
It is nice.
Yeah.
When I was teaching with the littles, we did something like that because I was
it's too many. It's too many names
for a few years. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I did write down a quote that I thought was, like, very pertinent. I wrote down a bunch of quotes, actually. You want to see my but when they're in the marketplace and the infected boy has been found and they're, sentencing the parents and stuff, the nightmare says a few different things, but he says, all will be forgotten save one truth unshaken. What did we do when the children were taken? And I just thought that was, like, such an applicable thing to, everybody's politics, everybody's political situation, where it's like, that is what you're remembered for, is what did you do when it got that bad.
Yeah, I do always love the kind of, like, parallels that fantasy will make between, like, how are people with, the disease treated, like.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And how, you have these families that are powerful or wealthy or whatever, and somehow their kids magically survive.
Which is also why, and I know some people definitely disagree with me on this, and it's just even though like we have the same and thoughts on it, I don't need it to be super brutal in my fantasy for that type of thing to have an impact on me, right? Like I'm already on your side on page 1. Like I'm already with you that they should not be killed, oppressed, discriminated against, all these things. Like I don't care what your reason is. So I just really don't need, but actually it's so bad. And here's like another torture scene and here's another,
we
you know, I don't need that to be on your side. I'm already there.
Yeah.
Yeah. There was a recent one that came out, A Forbidden Alchemy by Stacey McEwen. I don't know if you guys have tried that, but they do something with that with like the children and how the children of the upper class, something special-ish, kind of the numbers slant their direction, and it doesn't for the children of the lower class. It's touched on in that, especially in a society, like in this one where it's so stratified with the low class and the high class. It was really good. Yes, you should be. I really liked it.
There you go. I read, I think it's the Children Left Behind series as a kid. Maybe. Or maybe it's the Hidden Children. I don't know. I can't remember. There was some like elementary school series that was about a dystopian government and like only being allowed to have one kid, and then second and third kids are hidden and all of this stuff, and how many of the government officials were the ones with second and third kids, and
weird. Crazy.
I remember that book. I read that book. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Really familiar.
It's like Mary or Margaret or
Margaret Peterson Haddock.
Yes, that's
Among
her.
the Hidden.
Yes.
Yeah, it's
I read a bunch of her books.
Yeah.
And each one is like a
with the population
thought experiment. Yeah. It's like, oh, what if the government did
popular
this to
among
us?
7th graders.
Yeah. I read so many.
Yeah, he's the illegal third child, and he lives in the attic. Yeah.
I read like her other series and stuff too. Again, it's like one of those things that I do feel like reading it in books and reading these themes in books is really, really helpful, just informing who you are as a person, especially if you're doing it, as a kid and as a teenager.
Yeah.
Because like I said, like I'm so primed, I feel like, in the real world to be on the side of like, no, that should not be happening to you.
Yeah. Well, it reframes it in a different way too, so that you can see it from a way that isn't so personal. Because I think a lot of times that's the problem, is you're so embedded in the situation and it feels so personal.
Right.
So then once you start seeing it in a,
yeah, well, it's like
you're not attached to. These aren't people that you know. These aren't,
right.
stake in this game. That's like, oh, okay, I see how what I'm doing now is kind of like this evil person.
Yeah.
I always think that because I was never like hateful or anything, right? I was never like, oh, I hate whatever group of people, but I grew up on Fox News. Like I grew up listening to that every day, and all of the conservative talk show radio hosts and like all of that stuff. So I can't help but think that having a book that was not touching any of the specific talking points that they were talking about, helping to form my principles, was helpful, because yes, I didn't have any resistance to, oh, but I heard, whatever, or like we're against abortion, so anyone who votes for abortion has to be a bad person, and it doesn't matter anything past that, right? Like that was like the type of thing that was definitely drilled into me young, and then you kind of have to examine
it's
and move as far the other way as you can.
It's crazy how when you see something that's framed as aliens or monsters or whatever, suddenly you're like, "Oh, this is so evil." And it's like,
Yes, the historical exhibit one.
yeah.
Yes, that was I was like, what if this is a simulation? No, she had
Some
she
of
had
the
some
some
really
of the
wild
books we read as
concepts
kids
for
were
these
yeah.
kids. Yeah, horrifying.
Sounds horrifying.
It was. It was. But it was also it was like they were like dystopian books where, you know, the 13-year-old or whatever overthrew the government, like everything worked out.
Right.
We did it, but
You
also
just
it's like,
needed that
wow,
13-year-old.
okay. And then of course you have like the unsettling I don't know, knowledge that none of these things are that far of a stretch when you're talking about people in charge or governments or, you know, the sacrifices they're
Mhm.
willing to make if it's somebody else's kid for the greater good, you know? So, yeah. No, they stuck with me, those ones.
To be fair, some of those books were a little traumatic.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Alright, anything else? All this from another one of the
I think
Nightmares
that's
quotes,
it.
but
Yeah.
so we will be back
I'm
in
excited for it.
exactly 2 weeks for the second
Mhm.
book. So it is Saturday, November 1st, 8:00 EST or EDT. I'm not exactly sure which week we have daylight savings, but one of those things.
Day after.
The good news is you will, in fact, know that it's on my channel, and whatever time zone you're in, that's what YouTube will tell you what's happening. So, got 2 weeks to read one sequel. Seems very doable to me. So, I'm excited.
Yeah.
I know exactly one person who hates book 2 after enjoying book 1, and they're wrong. So, I think you're all in for a treat.
It's not possible.
Yeah.
One person, and like I said,
They're just wrong.
delusional.
Yeah.
So, we'll see
They
you
write
then.
it wrong.
I hope that you enjoy the book, and thanks for watching.
Yes.